SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Got my boy Silent Mike hitting up some deadlifts. The idea for today was to kind of hit up some speedy type deadlifts and then follow it up with some rack pulls. But you're going to see an interesting twist on the rack pull coming up. This is Big Ben Claridad, who is an Olympic lifter. He's been training with us for a little bit now, last couple weeks. This is Marcus. Can't remember his last name, but this dude is pretty damn strong, pretty impressive. I actually think kind of one of those situations where he'll probably be a pretty good Olympic lifter, but I can see it already that he can be a great power lifter. Don't you hate that? I see that with some of the CrossFitters sometimes. Sometimes you'll see a blocky-ass CrossFitter, and you're like, why in the hell are you CrossFitting? You're way, way too fat to CrossFit. And speaking of too fat, ladies and gentlemen, here's an appearance from Dick Lickerson. Mike looks like he's got his grip in a little bit too close, not realizing how broad those shoulders really are. You're supposed to have your hands down about shoulder width, but I don't think he's accounting for the massive size of his delts. These guys are usually pulling with a hook grip, and as you get to the real big weights, sometimes that becomes difficult, or at least takes some time to get used to. As your grip starts to get used to it, it gets to be a little easier. You see Marcus here is going with, he's got the straps on there. Looks like Marcus was shoving his knees out too much, getting them in the way of his arms, and you want your knees to actually travel more through your arms and forward of the barbell a little bit. None of us at Super Training do a very good job of that. So it's, well, I guess Torta does a good job of that. Chris Stamos, he does a good job of it. Silent Mike tries to, but he doesn't get enough leg drive in there. Let's just be honest. Even though he's my boy, he's not getting enough leg drive. Here's Marcus again, and you can see he's kind of yanking on that barbell. He's got to get a little more, well, you got to get a lot more tightness going before he does that. I think a lot of times that yanking, and Chris does it too. Again, always keep in mind that if you can make progress, if you can continually make progress, then you can just forget what the hell I'm saying. But I just think that you become limited when you yank on that barbell. How limited? Some guys get all the way up over 800 pounds that way, but I still think they're limited. They're limiting themselves. I still think they can pull more if they didn't yank the bar. And the reason for that is I think you can yank yourself, excuse me, you can yank yourself out of position. And that's the whole reason why I'm not a yanker. Okay, so here's the twisty part of this story here. We're in the Rogue Monster Rack, which we have another Rogue Monster Rack on the way to Super Training Gym because we have the best equipment in the world. But you can see they're deadlifting off of those straps there. And so this is kind of acting like a rack pull. But these guys really liked this movement, and they said, I wasn't there on this particular day, but they said that every time they landed into that strap, it was like they were, kind of landing on something soft, landing onto a pillow, rather than landing on a metal pole. The bar vibrates violently on that metal pole every time you come back down on it. And so this is just a different variation of that. Slight variation of a block pull as well. And another advantage here is that sometimes when you're on those pins, it takes a second to really feel like you get it in the right position. And with this, even though the straps are very, very similar, there's a little more play and a little bit more wiggle to the straps, and you can get yourself set up a little bit better. There's Matty Boombalatti going. This is what we've been trying to work on at Super Training. We've been trying to do a deadlift followed by a deadlift followed by another deadlift. We're just trying to deadlift our faces off until something happens, until we make improvements. Just basically trying to do 1 or 2 different deadlift movements, and sometimes 3 different deadlift movements in a given workout. Just really kind of depends on the day, depends on what we start with. But these guys started with some speed pulls, and now they're going doing a little bit of rep work here. There's different ways to catch your volume. You can catch your volume, in your assistance work, or you can catch your volume on the main movement. But it's hard to mix volume and intensity together too much, because then you kind of end up overdoing it on one exercise. So you're kind of better off just switching exercises up slightly, or throwing in some variables that change the lift just a little bit, such as a deficit, or pulling off of a block, or in this case pulling off the Rogue Monster Rack. I think it's pretty sick. I like to do a lot of benching off of here. I do a lot of nipple blasters, aka dead benches off of those things. Some of the Olympic lifters do some overhead pressing off of it, and they even do like split jerks and all kinds of stuff. I'm not even sure of the name of all the exercises that they do, but I think that's what it's called, split jerk or push press of some sort. You can see a lot of guys are using straps. We're not against that. Whatever way you can tap into that lower back more, do it. Ramos cranking out some reps. We lost Chris Ramos to some football for a little while, but that didn't work out so well, so now he's back in the gym full time, and it's great to have him in there because he's going to do some great things for super training. He's always a great addition to our team, and I'm looking for him to smash some huge weights coming up. Here is Treston Eugene Scholl, looking oh so magnificent and slender in that mustard-colored West Side Barbell t-shirt. And here is everybody's favorite and most hated all at the same time, Mr. Robot Pants, who's looking quite aerodynamic in this video, as it looks like he may have had a haircut before this video. I kind of like how his face turns red and his eyebrows turn white. That's kind of amazing. And here's Marcus, the new guy, embarrassing the entire team and outlifting everybody. Good strong pulling by him there. He's got the right idea with the shorty shorts, a la Brandon Lilly style. Here's Treston again. Treston's in his suit now, working up a little heavier. They're using a regular barbell there, which is a good thing to practice here and there. Those of you that get used to the deadlift bar, you're going to realize that if you utilize a regular bar here and there, it's going to help increase the strength of your grip. It's also just going to increase the difficulty of the entire exercise. It's harder to pop the weights off the floor when the bar doesn't bend at all. So something you want to give a try in your programming. Here's Treston now with his straps up, getting used to some heavy overloads in his deadlifting as he prepares for our meet in November. That meet, by the way, is closed. It's already sold out. November 3rd and 4th at Super Training Gym, Backyard Beat of the Century Part Dux. There's Chris getting in some good strong pulling there. Rack pulls and things of that nature tend to really isolate your lower back, but they're not as taxing on your body overall due to the fact that the range of motion is decreased. Look like some good strong reps there by Treston Scholl. And that is it from supertraining.com.